It's good to see you guys. In reviewing the film, a lot of positives, and couldn't overcome the negatives. And so, impressed with how we came out. Impressed with the physicality that we played with, the speed that we played with, the confidence that we played with. A lot of that was all, at issue and in question after our first game. And so to see the improvement on that, and then to have focused on that and worked on that, and to see that carry over was really good to see. I thought energy and edge, the confidence in how we do our work, and the violence in which we do it, I thought was there. The execution, however, was not. And I thought as the game went on, and all the credit to Utah, it became harder to execute, particularly offensively. And, I thought the defense being on the field for as long as they were, and continue to fight, offense we were trying our best to, and then to end the way we ended was hurtful, and it was frustrating, and just all the things. And so, to be in the locker room afterwards and to round guys up and say that, I'm proud of the effort and I'm proud of the fight, but we have to finish, and we didn't. And so to recognize that you let one get away, with all due respect to Utah, I think is where you have to start. And, that's where we're at. And so moving ahead, the challenge becomes that, hey, this one effort, this one fight that was put up versus Utah is not a one-time thing. Like, that's who we are. That's how we move. That's how we work. And so it's to bring that into this next game with increased execution. I look at the false starts, which have been something that we have not been able to get over with. I think that, we have to fix that. I think we've got to be able to fix getting off the field on third down. I think we have to be able to fix closing people out in short yardage scenarios and getting stops. And there's things that have shown the last two games that have to get fixed. And so our point and our mission, so to speak, is to get that done this week. Looking at Long Island, offensively, we'll see who plays at quarterback. They've got quarterbacks that can run. A similar play that hurt us with the Utah game, quarterback counter and gap schemes and all of it. They run that, and they run various other design quarterback runs. I think they've got good skill. They've got some receivers that can be mismatches. They're kind of short in stature but quick and fast. And then defensively, they load the box, and they'll play tight coverage, and they'll disguise late to get out to cover two. A couple coaches on the staff that I've worked with before. Dwayne Thomas was our star, was our nickel safety rather. In 2016, we played we were at LSU, and we played Alabama, and I think played him really well. And Dwayne was our nickel and had a lot of success in that game. As always knew he was going to be a coach. So way proud of him. And then I think the title is special assistant to the head coach. Kevin Cosgrove was with us at LSU also. And so it was a big factor in the defense success this last couple of years there. So I have a lot of respect for their coaches. I know that they're going to give us their best effort. For us, this is where we have to be able to take a step, and we've got to be able to get better and play with energy and edge and execution. Take questions from you guys if you got any.
Dave, you mentioned having to finish better.
Yep.
On the season, it's 21-7. The other guys in the fourth quarter, obviously 14-0 the other day. Is that fixing that? Is that a mindset? Is it conditioning, execution, maybe a little of all of that?
I appreciate that. I think it's a little bit of all of it. I think it's we've got we've got guys that, especially defensively, if you look at this last game, they were on the field for quite a bit. And then you look at offensively, you've got guys that, maybe they're young guys, maybe they're inexperienced, and the pressure's on, and we got to make a play, and we've got to execute in this moment, and we didn't do it. And the trick with a lot of that is that throughout the week we are, and then we get to those moments, and the moments are too big, and so we're running out of time for that, dog and pony show to continue, and so we've got to be able to take that next step and get past that to be able to finish games the way we need to.
Dave, you talked after the Air Force game and some recruiting losses about how to keep this from spiraling.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 6 consecutive losses.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep tangibly the morale with the team where it needs to be?
Appreciate that. Yeah, I think from the inside in talking to the team, they can feel the improvement. I think going into the first game with Texas State, there wasn't very few people, I think, that saw that coming. And so I think the inexperience and just the nervousness and the anxiousness got a hold of us, and we couldn't get it shook for a half, and it was too much, and defensively could never really recover. And then you look at this last game, just to attack it the way we did is what I would have wanted to expect in the first game. And so to be able to kind of narrow the focus and to continue to up the quality of the work that we do, to have the energy and the edge, but the execution to be upped, and then to increase the speed and to play faster and to play more confident. I think those are things that they feel, and they can sense that. And so it's a matter of trying to, again, eliminate the distractions and stay focused on what's right ahead of us, because I think they feel some momentum, however slight, and I understand from the outside, I totally see it, but I think they can see the improvement.
Dave, going back to that Texas State game, how does kind of a game like that where you expect to win kind of change your mentality heading into this week, which might also be viewed as a game that you guys expect to win?
No, appreciate that. Yeah, I think, you really can't really expect anything. I think everything's got to be earned. And I think, especially with some guys that are playing, that are seeing considerable minutes and haven't been in wars yet, haven't been scarred, haven't bled, haven't any of that. And so this is their opportunity to do that. I think it very much has to be, you're earning it throughout the week. It very much has to be, I've put time in, I've invested, I've sacrificed. And I think, as coaches, you got to have a rock in your shoe, and you've got to demand the standard. And so I think when it's that way, I think you can push guys that have all the ability but don't know what they don't know yet to higher levels, and that's our plan.
Dave, you had 3 new starters in the secondary this last week. How did those guys play, and particularly Kaden Jenkins as a true freshman?
Appreciate that. I thought Kaden plays with confidence. He plays with energy. He is unafraid and attacks things, and that's been here, and he took it across the bridge and did it there, and so knew that he would. Thought DJ really played well too. I thought there was some feeling out moments early, and there was some feeling out moments late too. But I think overall he was really aggressive and confident and played fast. And I think there's going to be more guys that are going to play as it goes. You look at Trey's playing D-line wise as a young guy. We need to get some more linebackers involved with young people. And so I think to have the depth that we need, they're going to for sure factor in.
Dave, you addressed it after the game, but can you talk a little bit about what you saw from Sawyer on Saturday and what you're hoping to see from him against LIU?
Appreciate that. Yeah, I saw throughout the week strong leadership. I saw confidence. I saw an energy throughout practice. I saw a real strong work ethic. Staying here late, visiting with Sean, visiting with Grimey, getting into all the film and all the books. And then in the game, I saw an initial start, or a first half, let's say, of all of that coming to life. You know, I thought he attacked things. I thought he was really direct and took command of adjustments. And when we had to, you know, they would bring their Sam Strong safety from the field, and they would roll the cover 2 to that side and play 0 on the backside, and it was a staple of theirs. And so he would see it and direct and adjust a run to go opposite, and was adjusting protection, and so just took control as if he had been there the whole time. And that was what it was throughout the week. I thought, you know, there in the third quarter, I thought it kind of flipped, and you know, that's when the turnovers happened, and I think he was kind of battling just adversity, and I think that really our whole offense kind of fell under that as well, and we struggled to move it from that point on. And so I think looking forward now, it's having gone through all of that. It's one thing to kind of say it. It's another thing to have gone through it, and I think you're stronger for it. And so you want to go through that, having learned and applied lessons from it to be better. And I know that he's all about that. And you know, we just left him. He's up there now, and so I anticipate a really strong performance by him.
You mentioned the false starts.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that's on the staff, on the players? Are there repercussions in the midweek for that? Where do you sit?
Appreciate that. Yeah, I think it's everybody. I think, you know, we have a cadence at home. We have a cadence on the road. You know, it's been a big off-season project because we struggled to really have any variation with the cadence last year. And I think people jumped the cadence and took advantage of the fact that there was little variation in the cadence. And so now to have it and to be struggling with it to this degree at this point in the season is disappointing. And so I think they're talking about that right now as we speak offensively on do we go to a road cadence, you know, when you're at home, and ways to simplify it and all of it. And so I think it's a big factor. I think the other part, too, is, you know, you got a new quarterback, you got a new center that's for the first time really kind of being a center. And I think, you know, I look at Clark, and I mean, he's one of the leaders for the offense. He makes all the calls. He's kind of the grown-up in the room with the offensive line. I think about everything that's on his shoulders. And then on top of the cadence, there's a lot for him. So are we putting too much on him? Those are things that we're working through.
Coach, I know offensively, especially this summer, you talked a lot about the tight end room, obviously with Drake, and he had a great performance. I know led receiving in week 1, just not as many targets against Utah. Was that more matchup based? And then if so, do you kind of maybe think you can explore that option a little more against LAU?
No, appreciate that. Yeah, I thought the man coverage was something that we wanted to really attack. And then I think in this game, we were able to protect much better, which allowed the opportunity to find him. I think that was such an issue in the first game. But yeah, I thought Drake had a great week of practice and really showed well. And you know, the challenge that I've given to him is that he could kind of continue to get these catches and have these runs and do these things. And I think some of those are strengths of his. And there's always ways we can get better with our strengths. But for him to work on his blocking, to continue to be on special teams, I think those are things that can show him the best for not only for our team, but also for him at the next level. And I know he's committed to that. And I think the best is yet to come with Drake. I'm excited just about his outlook and his energy right now.
Dave, can you offer some injury updates on a few guys? Jarrell Boykins, Blake Shapen, Garmin Randolph, Devin Lemire.
Okay. Yes. So Blake and Devin are still going to be – they're not going to be back this week. I think it's questionable whether they're back next week. We'll have to see kind of how this week goes. Garmin Randolph, we're anticipating having back. And so for this week, Jarrell Boykins is fully cleared to go this week. Was there someone else you said? Okay.
David, did you guys have only 10 men on the field
Yes.
during Utah's, I think it was the game-tying drive?
Yes.
What happened there?
So we only had one safety on the field on one of the plays. And so, you know, some of that is with Matt Pallage is our coordinator, and he's calling the plays. The GA that helps him is signaling in the plays. And so the ability to manage, to be strong in managing, a bunch of freshmen that were playing at the time can be improved. And I think, they had a system for it, but it wasn't good enough. And so you can't be doing a job and then have another job at the same time. And so with the signal part. And so we're going to clean that up to where someone else can do the signaling, and the GA is responsible just for the in and outs.
Is Monterey Baldwin in the doghouse or something? He doesn't seem to be, he's supposed to be maybe your most dynamic guy, but I don't see him involved much.
Right. No, I appreciate that. He had a great week of practice, and we just got done with academic meetings, and he's doing great there. And so I think, I think the way the game went, the matchups, we probably went to the tight end in the middle of the field a little bit more. I think part of the other difference too is, last year we weren't in a position to take one-on-one shots on the outside, and we're a little bit more apt to do that. Probably have more success in doing that. But I think if I were to look at just the overall view of it, I think that could factor into Monterey's situation right now. But I think Monterey's on the right track, and we continue to try to find ways to use Monterey. And I'm expecting big things from him. Just his trajectory and just how he's doing everything right now. I think good things are coming.
Coach, you lost 2 games at home.
Mm-hmm.
2 straight games at home. You said the execution is lacking.
Right.
This is a game that y'all need to step up. Do you feel that this game is a make or break game for this team?
Appreciate that. I feel I feel like everyone in the program needs a win. I think I can feel everyone in this room needing a win, and so I for sure feel that. And our aim is to do that. And so for me, probably less focus on that and more focus on today. We can't be looking ahead. Today we can't be thinking this is going to be a win. Today, what can we do to get the most out of today? And then we get to tomorrow, right? How can we get this to be the best Tuesday practice that we've had? How can we study film after the Tuesday practice better than we did last week? And so I think that if we focus that way, I think these things that we both want will come.
What does Kyler Jordan bring to a linebacker room that has plenty of experience, leadership? What does he bring to that group?
He does the right things. He's where he needs to be, doing what he's supposed to be doing it the way he's supposed to be doing it. And so, and that's kind of him in all facets. And so I'm happy for him, So he had great spring and a great fall camp, and then gets injured and questionable to start and to play. And, a guy is Garmin is kind of out and comes back in. BV comes in, and then for him to come back and fight and do it in a way that he did it, and to have his opportunity and then take advantage of it. I mean, there's a fair amount of guys that haven't done that with us, and so for him to do that, it's pretty cool.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, guys.